What's going on, guys? This is Chris from Fight Frequency, and right now we're going to be going into some book reviews and giving you my thoughts on some of my favorite reads that I have finished this year and over the passing several years, really. So the first book that we're going to start with is With Winning in Mind, and if you haven't seen the book cover, this is what it looks like. With Winning in Mind by Lainey Bassam. Try to get that right here. Lainey Bassam. Very, very good read. I highly recommend it. So one of the first things that I want to get started with this book is how he breaks up the psychological component of competition. And Lainey Bassam was somebody who competed in the Olympics and actually took gold multiple times. I believe he was a ski shooter, whatever that means. I wasn't really that interested to look it up or watch videos on it, but the book is phenomenal. And if you don't know anything about his work, he has reviewed some of the top people in the world within competition of all walks of life, and it's really, really fascinating what he came up with. And essentially he calls it the mental management system. So one of the big things that I got out of his writing was the Triad State. And in this Triad State, he talks about 3 different mental components working in unison with one another in order to accomplish a goal. So what does that look like? Number 1, he talks about your conscious mind. So what are you putting yourself around? What type of information are you taking in? Because this is a critical component in terms of what we're taking into our subconscious mind. Number 2, so he's saying for that first piece, you want to put yourself around really good information, really good mentors, really good coaches to take in as much as you possibly can. And with really good reps and practice over time, day in and day out, hour after hour, you will develop your subconscious mind. And essentially, he goes along the lines of saying that somebody should compete from their subconscious mind because it is the most powerful state that you could perform from. Why? Because you're not thinking, you're letting your body do its work. It's muscle memory that's coming out at that point. And number 3, the final component is your self-image. So the self-image is really what's going to move you forward, move you backwards, or not let you move at all. It's really interesting because he goes into self-image is saying that it's this piece in our mind that thinks we're able to do something. Like, if we think we're able to do it or we don't think we're able to do it, it's going to get that like result of whatever the thought is encompassing. Now, one thing that he said you could do for your self-image to build it up, because a lot of people just don't have strong self-images. In my mind, in my perception of why he's saying that is because we're kind of taught that we need something external to be happy from a really young age, whether it's buy this or get this or achieve this, rather than just being in a peaceful, happy state from within, not coming from anything external. So what he draws the comparison in the book, or what he said that can help your self-image rather, is writing something down in your weekly agenda, your weekly journal. So he said it should go in direct conflict with your self-image. Why is this important? Why not do something so low to the point where your self-image doesn't need to be confronted? Well, it doesn't place enough pressure and enough fear on that self-image to move up and be challenged. So it should really make you uncomfortable. I'll give you a example that I have been writing in my weekly agenda every single week since the beginning of the year. And it's I am the 2000 2020 King of the Cage amateur champion. I've been writing that every single week. I sit down on Sunday, write out my agenda, and then write that so I see it the whole week. And when I first started writing it down, I was kind of embarrassed. I was like, oh, what is this? I hope nobody sees this. And I don't know how I feel about it because I don't know if I can do that. And if I were to fail, what would that mean to my self-image? And what's interesting is that he said 2 things are going to happen when you're proposing something to your self-image and you're trying to work on it. 1, you're going to stop writing it down. And the reason why is because it's so powerful and it's going to be in direct conflict where you're not going to want to look at it anymore. You're going to stop writing it. Or number 2, it's going to happen. And he goes along the lines of saying, you should take the time to write things down. Take the times to write out your thoughts, especially when it pertains to your self-image work. It should be very specific to what you want to accomplish. Now, to end this book review, I want to give you an example of a little imagery that he put together for the conscious, subconscious, and self-image. And he says it's like a submarine. And in the submarine, you have the ship that's underneath the water and the periscope that's kind of seeing the information, taking in the water and what's above the water. So it knows where to navigate. And that's your conscious mind. It's the periscope looking at everything. It's seeing what's going on around you. It's seeing where you should probably not go this way or that way, or certain routes to take or not take. Underneath that periscope is the submarine. And the submarine, the big ship underneath the water, is your subconscious mind. It's where everything gets stored as you're taking it in. And take in mind, this goes to negative information as well. So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are like, you suck, you're terrible, or you even tell that to yourself in practice, like, man, that was a really terrible practice, I could have done way better, I blame myself for this, and that, you're going to take that on, you're going to take that with you. So keep in mind both self-talk, or talk that's coming from the external. So you have the submarine, the periscope, conscious mind, the submarine, which is your conscious mind, and then in that engine is your self-image. And that self-image with the engine is going to move you forward, or it's going to move you back, or not let you move at all. So you want to make sure all 3 things are working in unison with one another so it could propel you in the right direction rather than work against yourself. Because most of the times, like if you just keep an objective mind, watch like a majority of people, if they're working against themselves or if they're working with themselves to take them to the next level or to accomplish a goal or to really strive for something big. And this is really important to kind of keep in mind and think about how your mind is working with yourself. This book has really helped me out this passing year. I think I purchased this on Amazon like beginning of the year, and I just started reading it slowly, and it's really helped me out with a lot of different stuff. There's so much dense information in here. It's a beautiful text, and I highly recommend that you go read it if you're trying to accomplish some goals and really take the next step, the next level of whatever you're trying to get to. And what's so cool is that this is broad information where it could be applicable to all walks of life, whether that be business, personal management, sports, mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, really anything that, personal finance. That's something that I'm working on right now a lot, is trying to manage my money better and save and invest and whatnot. So take a look at this book, guys. Consider putting it on your book list. I highly recommend it. And let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching.